A teenager was chosen by the calendar of heaven and earth to be the new almanac master after his grandmother passed away. A few days before the new year, Nanju decided to go home and live at his grandmother's house. His grandmother was a known expert when it comes to feng shui, geomancy or divining fate. All her predictions were always correct, and these helped others to avoid disaster. Because of this, she became famous. Although he learned some things about this skill when he was young, but there were only few that he could remember. When he entered his grandmother's house, someone suddenly rushed at him, but he quickly got hold of this person. It turned out to be Zhang, whom he had assigned to guard the house, and he was actually planning to surprise Nanju. He immediately lit incense to pray for his late grandmother. Then he asked Zhang why the house was messy. Zhang answered that it was because of the neighbors who would always visit there to talk about his return. They all hoped that he would continue his grandmother's work, but Nanju made it clear that he would not do it, and this made Zhang to be surprised. But Zhang reminded him that there were still bills left from his grandmother's hospitalization, so he still needed to save up. Zhang suggested that he could easily complete the needed amount quickly if he would continue his grandmother's work. Zhang even told him that he already knew someone who needed help through his services. Then he also gave Nanju the books that belonged to his grandmother. A few hours after Zhang left, he took the necklace that he wore when he was young and read his grandmother's diary, where he saw different types of hand signs. He tried to imitate them, but after the last hand sign, a strong wind suddenly entered the house. He suddenly summoned one of the almanac deities, named Xiao, and it told him that he was the new almanac master chosen by the calendar of heaven and earth to replace his grandmother. It was only here that he found out that his grandmother was not just an ordinary feng shui master. According to Xiao, the calendar of heaven and earth was created by Emperor Shin to predict the change in festivals during the 4 seasons. He added that he had already informed other almanac deities that he was the new almanac master. In the morning when he woke up, he thought that what happened last night was just a dream. Suddenly, he heard a noise in the kitchen, and when he looked at it, Xiao bumped into the door. When he saw him, he realized that what happened the other night was not just a dream. After looking at the book with information about the little new year, Xiao said that he was assigned from this holiday until the start of the next holiday. He added that Nanju could also call the next deity if he needed help. Nanju was surprised when he read the denunciation of evil spirits as one of the duties of an almanac master. So Xiao explained that the evil spirits were formed because of people's negative emotions. Although ordinary people could not see them, an almanac master had the ability to see these spirits. Suddenly, he smelled something, and it was what Nanju was cooking. The deity was very excited about this food, but he did not expect that it was his pet, and Nanju only remembered that it was the fish that the deity was holding. Nanju tried to replace it with a turtle, but Xiao just got more angry at him. In the evening, he met with the client that Zhang told him, named Zhang. While Zhang was insulting him because he was not convinced of Nanju's ability, Nanju could see black smoke surrounding Zhang's hand. He knew that this was the evil spirits, so he mentioned the word Haishir, which worried Zhang, and he looked at the clock at the same time. Then one Zhang staff suddenly called to inform him about an accident had occurred at the construction site that he was managing. Because of this incident, Nanju went to check the whole area himself. After walking around for a few minutes, he decided to summon Xiao. He already had a new pet, so he decided to throw away the turtle. They were suddenly attacked by evil spirits, but they quickly avoided it. Then they saw a lot of evil spirits scattered all around them. Xiao used his power to fight them all. When Nanju was attacked by other evil spirits, he was surprised to find that he also had power to protect himself. Xiao said that it was the power he inherited as an almanac master. They continued to fight the evil spirits, but Zhao's pet had lost its power. While he was crying for his pet, they suddenly heard the sound of a bell. This means that the new almanac deity was coming to replace Xiao, so Xiao bid goodbye and immediately disappeared. The evil spirits took the I-beams and attacked Nanju with these. Just as Nanju was about to be hit by an I-beam, someone suddenly came there to protect him from the attack. It also had a lion-like creature, and he thought that this must be what Xiao was saying, as the new almanac deity. When he was about to be attacked again by the evil spirits, the almanac deity used the cleaning spirit's incantation seal and attacked the evil spirits. It only took a few moments for this deity to consume the evil spirits in the entire construction site. The deity approached him, and since the New Year's Eve was near, Nanju knew that it was Chushi. But Chushi suddenly felt bad, and he asked them to leave the area. When they got home, Chushi felt normal again. Nanju noticed the dog that wanted to play with him, and it turns out to be Chushi's pet that had changed its form. He made some tea, but when he came back, he saw Chushi who was in pain again. When Nanju approached him to offer the tea, Chushi suddenly turned and strangles him, but after a while the deity returned to his normal behavior. Because of what happened, Nanju summoned Xiao to find out what was going on with Chushi, and it was here that he learned the reason why the deity was acting like this, was because he had fought many evil spirits, and this caused him to be infected by evil energy. This was the reason why sometimes his emotions were not stable. After Xiao left, Nanju went to Chushi, but he found out that the deity had left. A few hours later, after he fell asleep, he thought of Chushi. Suddenly, someone knocked on his house's door, and he thought that it was an enemy. But it turned out to be just Patrick, and June was with him. The children were asked by Mrs. Wang to invite him to the New Year's dinner. But since he did not have anyone else at home, he decided that they should gather in his house for the New Year's dinner. After they left, Chushi suddenly appeared to him, who had just finished eliminating the evil spirits he felt, and this was the reason why he suddenly left the house. While the children were on their way home, June tried to call his father who was at work, but he did not answer his call. Because he felt bad and disappointed, there was an evil spirit building up in his body. Chushi accompanied Nanju to the supermarket, and because of what he was wearing, people kept staring at them. Chushi said that he just had to do his responsibility, which was to protect the Almanac master. Because of this, he would attack the evil spirits that he could see. Because of this, Nanju only paid for all the damages done by Chushi. The deity felt another evil spirit again, so Chushi suddenly left. Someone wanted to take June's money, and since he did not have money with him, the man decided to take his cell phone. When June tried to take it back, the man dropped it, which caused the cell phone screen to break. Because of this, the evil spirits in June's body became even stronger. As the man was leaving, he bumped into Chushi. When he saw the deity's weapon, he quickly ran away. Nanju happened to pass by there, so he took June home with him, but Chushi warned him to be careful. At night, as they prepared to welcome the new year, June's sadness got worse because his parents had not come home yet. Meanwhile, Zhang came to give Zhang's payment after Nanju warded off the evil spirits in the construction site. After a few moments, they suddenly heard a noise inside the house, and when they entered, they saw that Mrs. Wang and Patrick were unconscious on the floor. Then they saw June crying. Suddenly, the evil spirit surrounding him attacked them, but because of Nanju's necklace, the evil spirit was not able to get through him. The evil spirit grew even stronger, and when it was about to attack Nanju, Chushi blocked it. It attacked again, and this was when Chushi finally eliminated the enemy. When June regained his consciousness, he immediately looked for his cell phone. Then Mrs. Wang that somebody called, and he thought that it was his father. But it was his father's coworker who called, to inform him that his father was busy at work and would return home after a few days. He did not know that it was Nanju who was on the other line talking to him, and he did it to make June feel better. The next morning, while Nanju was sleeping, a boy entered his house and blew up his house. He quickly got out of the house and saw the boy who did it upstairs. It turned out to be Daniel, Zhao's brother, and he was the Almanac deity who was assigned on that day. The deity came down to blast him again, but Nanju just avoided him, that caused Daniel to fall. Mrs. Wang and Patrick arrived there, and when Nanju noticed the evil spirit, Daniel quickly attacked it. Nanju stopped him because he was worried that Mrs. Wang and Patrick might be harmed, but Daniel said that only evil spirits would be affected by his fireworks and it would not affect people. While they were eating dumplings, Zhang came there to inform Nanju that they had a new client. They went into a Ruware museum, and their client was the curator of the museum, named Mr. Lim. When Nanju was asking Mr. Lim about what happened, the entire museum suddenly lost electric power. Then the Ruware on display began to move on its own, so people rushed to get out of the building. When Daniel noticed that someone was attacking a Ruware, he immediately blew it up. Because of this, Mr. Lim stopped him out of concern that Daniel might just damage the Ruware. They came out of the museum, and Mr. Lim talked about the sudden destruction of the sundial the other night, while he was on patrol. He could not believe and was saddened that this happened, so he decided to ask the experts for help. Nanju and Daniel examined it and told Mr. Lim of the way they thought, so they could get rid of the evil spirit that was responsible for the sundial's destruction. At night, Daniel put protection on the ruware so that these things would not be affected by what they were going to do. After some time, they felt that the evil spirit started to act. It suddenly entered the museum and tried to attack the ruware, but due to the protection which Daniel put on them, the attacks did not work. When Daniel attacked the evil spirit, they found out that it was a cat form. But after a while, it changed into a human form and introduced himself as Ping. He attacked Nanju and then tried to forcefully destroy the protection placed on the ruware, but Daniel quickly stopped him. But Ping was able to easily free himself. Then they heard the sound of the bell. Ping attacked a certain ruware, and the ancient array was suddenly activated. Then they saw the dragon above that came down to their location to drive Ping away, and Nanju was surprised that the calendar of heaven and earth absorbed it. After that, the three treasures appeared in front of them, and they found out that these were the ones that Ping was planning to acquire. These things were the Emperor's Almanac scripture, a scroll which caused for Nanju to suddenly remember Chushi, and the black dragon horn that turned into a black dragon bone sword. After Nanju returned home, he learned from Chushi about the black dragon bone sword. This sword was said used by Emperor Shin to fight many evil spirits. But like Daniel, he was not too familiar with the Almanac scripture, so he thought that it might be because of the purpose of the scripture to pass it on to future generations. Nanju read something from it, which according to Chushi, was the long-lost Leisure spell. Then Nanju showed the scroll with a picture of Chushi, who was holding the severed head of a demon. When Chushi touched it, he remembered the day when he was fighting against a demon. When the flower festival arrived, the Almanac deity, named Wayne, appeared to Nanju. Nanju was not very familiar with this festival, so Wayne explained it to him, including the customs that were done on the day when people were celebrating it. But after the last dynasty, only few people were spending their time to celebrate this festival. The deity added that if a festival was completely forgotten, the deity assigned to it would also weaken until he lose the power, and would just sleep forever. Then they saw a woman hugging a hawthorn tree. They heard that she had a pet named Nunu that was sick. She wanted to visit it, so Wayne gave her a hawthorn leaf and asked her to take it to Nunu. It was only here that they found out that this woman could no longer see, and her companion turned out to be Zhang, who arrived after a while. Suddenly, Zhang tripped to the ground, and when Nanju helped him to stand up, he saw the evil spirit in Zhang's wound. Then Wayne acted quickly to heal his wound. After that, Zhang introduced the woman to Nanju, and her name was Run. When the two left, Wayne told Nanju about his concern on the danger brought by the evil spirit that they saw in Zhang's wound. At night, they talked about it and thought carefully on how and where Zhang got the evil spirit. Wayne had a suspicion that it might be from someone else because he was sure that there was no evil spirit in Ren's body. Nanju assigned Wayne to observe Ren for the meantime, for they might discover something about the origin of the evil spirit. After Wayne left, Zhang came there and invited Nanju for a drink. They talked about Ren, and because Zhang was worried on her situation, he wanted to take care of her. Meanwhile, Ren gave the hawthorn leaf to Nunu, and her pet was happy to receive it. A few moments later, Ren left the house to buy food. While she was walking home, she almost collided with the boxes that a man was carrying, and was also attacked by an evil spirit. This caused the boxes to scatter. When the boxes were about to fall on her, Wayne came and quickly made a barrier to save Ren. Wayne noticed the evil spirits that were similar to what they saw in Zhang. While Nanju and Zhang were still drinking, Wayne came back to inform Nanju of his discovery. He also left a branch with a flower on Ren to protect her. The man came there to take Nunu in order to replace the pet with another guide dog, due to Nunu's current health condition. But Ren did not want to have another guide dog. When Nunu felt strange on the current situation, he got angry, causing it to be surrounded by evil spirits. When Nunu was about to attack, Wayne's protection branch also reacted quickly. Since Nanju and his companions were already near and could already see what was on Ren's house, Wayne got ahead of them. When they arrived at Ren's house, Wayne was already fighting the evil spirit, and they also saw Ren and the man who were also unconscious. Suddenly, the evil spirit attacked Zhang, causing him to lose his consciousness. Then the evil spirit was able to break Wayne's barrier. Because of this, Nanju took action to fight the evil spirit, and he released the black dragon sword. With just one attack using this weapon, he quickly defeated the evil spirit in Nunu's body. One night, while Zhang's people were still at the Riverside construction site, their excavator dug up something. When they looked at it closely, they were all shocked and ran in fear, because it turned out to be human skeletons. The next day, the Cold Food Festival was celebrated, so Mrs. Wang visited Nanju to bring him food. When Mrs. Wang left, it was here that the Almanac deity of the festival, named Hanshi, appeared to him. He noticed that Hanshi was not feeling well, so Nanju remembered what Wayne said about the festivals which people gradually forget to celebrate, and this caused the Almanac deities to weaken. On the other hand, Zhang visited the construction site to find out the situation. While he was talking to one of his men, another staff approached them to inform him that they had dug up something new. That night while Nanju and Hanshi were talking, Zhang suddenly called Nanju. He wanted to ask Nanju for help again, to fix the problem at the construction site. Nanju did not want to bring Hanshi because of the deity's condition, but Hanshi still insisted to come. He wanted to do his role as an Almanac deity. Because of this, Nanju could not do anything, so he let him come. When they arrived at the construction site, they saw Zhang praying in the area. Hanshi also immediately felt that there were many evil spirits in the pit. Nanju approached it and continued digging to force the evil spirits out of it. A few minutes later, when Nanju stopped what he was doing, the evil spirit suddenly began to manifest itself. It came out of the pit and attacked Nanju repeatedly, but Nanju just blocked them all. Then he took out his black dragon sword to parry its attack again, and saw from this attack a cockroach. Someone once again attacked him, so Hanshi started to act to protect Nanju and stop the enemy. Nanju and Hanshi worked together to fight the evil spirits, and every time they defeated the enemies, an insect or worm would appear from it. A few moments, they saw the huge snake, and when it rushed at them, the black dragon sword spontaneously moved to attack it. Hanshi took advantage of this, and tried to restrain the snake to give Nanju a chance to attack their enemy. Nanju quickly attacked with his thunderbolt, but the big snake did not even get hurt from this. When the big snake was about to eat them, someone suddenly attacked it. It turned out to be Chushi, and in his next attack, he immediately defeated the big snake. When Nanju put Hanshi aside, so the deity could rest, Chushi suddenly felt the same pain. When Chushi was about to approach Nanju, Hanshi immediately noticed him and quickly attacked Chushi, causing him to lose consciousness. Before Hanshi fainted, he asked Nanju for a favor. Nanju had a dream that he went to a time when Chushi was fighting a demon. He thought that it was true, but he suddenly woke up from this dream. Hanshi prepared tea for him, and he remembered that the deity had asked for the favor to let him stay for one more day even though the Cold Food Festival was over. On this day, the tomb sweeping day was being held, so the Almanac deity, named Cain, also appeared to them. It turned out that he was Hanshi's brother, and he was the reason why Hanshi wanted to stay for another day. But from the behavior shown by Cain, he seemed like he had a grudge against Hanshi. The two of deities accompanied Nanju to his grandmother's grave. Not far from them, there was a couple who told their daughter how the tomb sweeping day started, and they also mentioned the previous Cold Food Festival which was gradually neglected by the people. Because of the bad things that they were saying about the Cold Food Festival, Nanju was also annoyed at them. Even Cain was annoyed at them, so he did not let the mother to light the firecrackers until she accidentally lit the firecrackers and she was caught off guard by the explosions. After they put the paper money in the fire, the family was about to leave when Hanshi tried to stop them. He told them that it was dangerous if they would just left the papers burnings. But they just got angry and did not listen to Hanshi's plea. It was only a few moments when they felt something strange and someone suddenly attacked Hanshi. Fortunately, it was quickly blocked by Cain. It was the moment when the fire caused by the evil spirit grew stronger, causing it to spread in the area quickly. Nanju used his power to control the evil spirits, while Cain and Hanshi tried to exterminate the rest of them. Cain was worried about Hanshi because he might be in danger from the excessive use of his divine power even though he was already weak. Hanshi was suddenly attacked by an evil spirit, and luckily, Cain acted quickly. Then they heard people asking for help, and one of them was Zhang. Nanju continued to absorb the evil spirits until his power could no longer handle the excessive amount of evil spirits. After Cain and Hanshi evacuate the people, they went back to Nanju. But Cain could still heard people asking for help, so they went to them immediately. It turned out that this was the family that they encountered, and when Hanshi was about to try to use his power again to extinguish the fire, Cain stopped him because he was sure that it was dangerous for his brother. But he was not able to convince Hanshi, and his brother continued to use his power. Because of this, the fire in the area was gone completely, but it caused Hanshi to disappear as well. While the rescued family of Hanshi was leaving, Cain could not stop his anger at Hanshi's sacrifice for the family that belittled his brother, so he attacked them. Fortunately, Nanju quickly blocked the attack. Cain attacked him again, but at that moment Nanju dropped his sword. When Cain rushed at Nanshu again, Chushi suddenly came there to stop him. Then Chushi mentioned to Cain about what his brother had done for him, and that was the moment when Cain remembered all the sacrifices that Hanshi made for him since he was a child. Because of this, he was very sorry and regretted that he did not treat his brother well in the past few days. When Nanju got home, he tried to find a way to get Hanshi back, but he could not find any ways, and Chushi could not help him in this matter either. Meanwhile, Cain was still in the forest and was struggling on losing his brother. Suddenly, he heard a voice that wanted to poison his mind. After some time, when Nanju was about to sleep, he remembered what Chushi had said about what he noticed regarding the evil spirit that attacked the Banqui mountain, because something seemed strange there. In addition to this, he should also focus on Cain. He suddenly opened his eyes and saw Cain in front of him, who had attacked something. When Nanju turned on the light, he saw the snake which was supposed to do a bad thing on him. Cain also told him that the evil spirit tried to poison his mind, but fortunately, he was able to fight it. He was wary of Nanju because there was a high possibility that the evil spirits might do a mass attack against him. When the Dragon Boat Festival came, another snake tried to enter Nanju's house, but it failed because there was a barrier surrounding his house. And this barrier was placed by the Almanac deity of the Dragon Boat Festival, named Wuji. Since Cain's departure, there was someone or something who would plan to attack Nanju. Meanwhile, at the Riverside construction site, Ping hung out there for a moment. After a few moments, the one who controlled the snakes and attacked Nanju, named Ani, came there, and this caused Ping to be alerted. He knew that Ani failed in his attempt to attack Nanju, so he warned him not to bother Nanju, because their leader would be the one to take care of him. He wanted to attack Ani using his power, but it reminded him of his sloppy plan at the Ruwer Museum, so he just let it go and warned Ani not to mess with their plans. While Wuji was on his way home, he heard a woman's cry asking for help. He immediately went to her, and when the snake was about to attack the woman, Wuji managed to get ahead of the snake's attack. This woman turned out to be Ani, and he had no idea that it was just a trap. He was surprised that she quickly went behind him and bit him. On the other hand, Zhang visited Nanju and they discussed the spreading news, which was about the death of 3 people in the hotel, due to the bite of a poisonous snake. A few moments later, Wuji came there who already had a snake bite on his neck. After he handed Nanju what he was carrying, Nanju noticed that there was something strange on Wuji. When he called its name, it was only then that Wuji came back to his senses. Ani was also not far from them, and she was surprised that her power did not work on Wuji. Nanju and Zhang had watched on the news that there was another victim of the poisonous snake. Zhang jokingly said that he also wanted to fall as the snake's prey, but Nanju warned him because he knew that Zhang could be easily tricked. Because of this, Ani thought of a plan and then she left. The next day, Nanju and Wuji went to the place where Ani had killed her last victim. When they were about to go inside, Nanju noticed the snake bite on Wuji's neck, so he asked about it immediately. Wuji could not quite remember where he got the bite, but after a while, he remembered the girl he saved the other night. At night, while in an alley, the drunk man noticed a cat in front of him. It turned out to be Ping, and after a while he attacked the man to make him his dinner. Suddenly, one of his bosses, named Sun Kai, came there, so he immediately fell to his knees. Ping asked for another chance because of his previous sloppy plan at the Ruwer Museum. He also informed him about Ani because of her repeated attempts to attack Nanju. When Nanju and Wuji were on their way home from their investigation, they met Zhang on the way. But because Zhang was acting strangely, Nanju immediately noticed it. So when Zhang attacked him, Nanju quickly avoided it, and then he saw the snake bite on his neck that was similar to Wuji. Zhang attacked again and he was able to get away from Nanju. He told Nanju that he should go to the Riverside construction site if he wanted to save Zhang's life. They immediately went to the construction site, and when the lights turned on, they saw Zhang. When they got close to him, Wuji used his power to remove the evil spirit from Zhang's body. After a while, Nanju sensed the enemies around, so he left Zhang to Wuji's care and faced the enemies. Ani appeared to him, and when she attacked him, Nanju immediately used the black dragon sword, but he did not expect that it contained poisonous gas, and this made him weak. When Ani was about to attack again, Wuji suddenly attacked her. The two of them fought, while Nanju saw the night when Ping and his companions summoned Ani again. When he found out that Ani was also an accomplice of Ping, he also wondered who could be the other person that was wearing a cloak. Ping also took action to start what they were planning on Nanju, then Sun Kai suddenly came there. When Ani got closer to where Nanju was, she rushed at Nanju, but Chushi suddenly attacked her. That was the moment when Ping started their plan, and Nanju was surprised when a barrier was activated where they were. But before the barrier was completed, Chushi managed to push Nanju out. Then it started to absorb the evil spirits, which in turn attacked Chushi inside it. Nanju tried to destroy the barrier with his sword, but it did not work. It turned out that this barrier attracted evil spirits, and since there were so many evil spirits, Ani decided to retreat. In Chushi's continuous fight against the evil spirits, he once again got affected by the negative energy around him. On the other hand, Ping did not expect that Sun Kai would betray him and let him be sucked in the barrier. In this situation, Nanju decided to use the dragon, and this was when he was able to destroy the barrier and save Chushi. A few days later, while the people were getting ready for the Hungry Ghost Festival, Zhang invited Nanju to his place. When he entered the building, he wondered that all the lights were turned off. When he was on the front door of Zhang's room, he could see that the door seemed had attacked earlier. Zhang suddenly came out of the room after a few moments, and when he saw the door, he was also shocked and was terrified. Since someone moved what he put outside, Nanju told him that it was just a sign of bad omen. He added that Zhang might have touched something that should not be disturbed. Zhang was not sure about this, and begged Nanju to save him. At midnight, Nanju suddenly felt something strange around them. He saw a man from the distance that was approaching them, so he took out the black dragon sword and prepared for a fight. The man suddenly rushed at him and even managed to remove the sword from Nanju. But then Nanju realized that this man was the Almanac deity of the Hungry Ghost Festival, named Zaid. When they entered the room, Zhang showed them the shot of his CCTV camera where they could see that his belongings were floating in the air. Zaid suspected that it was a high-level spirit. That was when Nanju found out that evil spirits also had their respective levels. Zaid explained that when the evil spirit was at a low level, its appearance was just like a shadow. But if it was a high-level evil spirit, it has its own form, and its usual victims were not ordinary people either. And since Zhang attracted a high-level evil spirit, it was possible that there was something unusual in Zhang. They suddenly felt the presence of the evil spirit who attacked Zhang, so they prepared immediately. Zaid used his power to prepare for the entry of the evil spirit. So when the evil spirit entered, he immediately caught it. Nanju attacked it, but the evil spirit managed to escape. Because of the great power that the evil spirit had shown, Zaid wondered why it was targeting someone like Zhang, who was just greedy for money. Previously, the miners discovered something in the mine, and was immediately reported to Zhang. Zhang quickly went to its location, and when he was about to touch it, one of his men stopped him because something bad would happen if he lay his hand on it. The next morning, he stared at the thing that he had taken from the mine. A few moments later, a visitor came to him who introduced himself as Mr. Sun, who was said to be the general manager of the Dengfeng Trading Company. It turned out that Mr. Sun wanted to negotiate with him about the thing that he got near Wangsuan the other day. But Zhang immediately denied it, and said that he never once went to Wangsuan, and he never had the thing that Mr. Sun was referring to. Mr. Sun did not believe him, because there were many people who already know about it. He added that their company was also willing to help in Zhang's project at the Riverside, because they also knew that they were experiencing problems there for the past few days. Because of this, Zhang immediately thought that the thing he got was very valuable, so he told Mr. Sun that he would think about his offer first. When Mr. Sun was leaving, Nanju and Zaid came at Zhang's place, but Zaid suddenly felt something strange on Mr. Sun. They went there to inform Zhang of their plan for that night. By nightfall they started with the ritual. After a few minutes, the evil spirit appeared to them, so Zaid also prepared to fight it. But they had no idea that Sun Kai was already at Zhang's place to get the mysterious thing that he wanted to get. But when he was about to take it, it turned out to be fake and it reacted on him that made him backed away. When the evil spirit attacked Zhang, Nanju used his sword to block it. Zaid used his power to attack it. Then he immediately used his chains to bind the evil spirit. It released a great power and tried to escape again, but it was followed by Nanju's attack. Then Zaid used his weapon and aimed at the evil spirit, causing it to be defeated and disappeared completely. But they did not think that it was able to attack again, and it hit Nanju, so Chushi immediately appeared there. When Chushi approached him, they found out that the pendant blocked the evil spirit's attack. But Nanju suffered some injuries, and Chushi knew that the hospital could not treat him, so he decided to take Nanju to someone he knew who could treat his wounds. When they arrived at the place, Zaid was surprised because it was a ruin. When Chushi saw the arch, he remembered his fight in this place with Nanju's grandmother. After a while, they heard a sound from the flute. When they arrived at their destination, they saw a man playing it, and he was the one whom Chushi was referring that could heal Nanju's injuries. Nanju dreamed that he was walking in an unfamiliar place, and saw a light and the thing that looked like the pendant which he was wearing. Suddenly, he heard a voice from it, and this was the moment that he woke up. He tried to pick up his pendant, but it fell to the floor, so Chushi learned that he had woken up. The doctor who treated him spoke to Nanju, and he introduced himself as Chizai. Chizai said that he had been unconscious for a few days, and fortunately, his wound was not too deep, so he would be able to recover in a few days. When he looked for Zaid, Chushi told him that the other deity had left first. While he was looking at his pendant, Chizai had told him an information about the pendant. Nanju wondered why Chizai knew something about the pendant, so Chizai showed to him the pendant that was similar to it. Here he also said that he was one of the descendants of Emperor Shin Yuan. Because of this, Anju immediately asked if he knew where his parents were. Chizai was about to answer this question, but Chushi volunteered that he would be the one to tell Nanju the truth. It turned out that he also knew Nanju's parents, so he told the story of the day when his parents were killed by evil spirits. When Nanju's grandmother noticed the pendant, she realized that Nanju was with them. She immediately removed the evil spirits surrounding the young Nanju. It was not long when Chizai came there to pick up Nanju's parents. Chizai also immediately learned that Nanju's grandmother was an almanac master because of their clan's connection to the deities. Since he also knew Nanju's fate, he entrusted him to Nanju's grandmother. Nanju could not believe what he heard, so Chizai added that because they were always attacked by the evil spirits during those times, he thought that it was what's best for him. Since the enemy failed to get the thing that Zhang hid, he decided to look for Nanju, because he believed that Nanju would lead him to it. When he found the location where Nanju was, he assigned his disciple to attack it. They also immediately felt the evil spirits around, but because of the barrier surrounding it, the evil spirits could not enter it. Chizai quickly went out to check the situation, and even though Nanju was still weak, he also insisted on coming out. Due to the continuous attacks of the evil spirits, they were able to break the barrier. Because of this, the evil spirits immediately rushed at them, but Zaid came there to face them, and Chizai also helped him. On the other hand, when the negative energy took over Chushi again, he went to a room. While Zaid continued to fight the evil spirits, Sun Ken also countenanced to release them. Nanju asked Chizai what could be the enemy's purpose in the area. Chizai thought of something that they might wanted to get, and this was what Chushi wanted to seek too. After Chushi entered the room, he opened a secret passage which was leading below, but when he felt the entry of the evil spirit sent by Sun Kai, he quickly closed the passage and caught the evil spirit. When they heard Nanju's voice, the evil spirit quickly escaped and disappeared. Then the evil spirits that Zaid were fighting also retreated. Chushi was about to attack Nanju, but he suddenly went back to his senses, so he retreated. When Chizai came in the room, he was relieved that the enemies did not succeed in their plan. Then he mentioned to Nanju what he was referring to earlier, and it was the leap month calendar. He added that during the height of the Great War, Shin Yuan used it to complete the seal, and it was also the moment when it disappeared with the demon lord. The next morning, Nanju decided to go home, because he was feeling better. Before he left, Chizai gave him a box. A few moments after he left, he opened the box, and was surprised to see the Shin Yuan Ancient Chinese Dictionary. A few days later, and as the Mid-Autumn Festival approached, Nanju and Kane talked to each other. It's about their plan to reshape Hanshi's soul, because Nanju found out that the Mid-Autumn Festival was the best time to perform the ritual. Because of this, Kane also helped him complete the things that he would need for the ritual. During the Mid-Autumn Festival, the Almanac deities gathered. While Nanju and the Almanac deity of the festival, named Moon, were talking, Xiao called them to start the ceremony. Nanju presided the ceremony, while the Almanac deities were outside to help in the ritual. When they finished it, Hanshi appeared to them, so Kane immediately approached his brother. But when he touched him, Hanshi disappeared again, and this made Kane sad. Nanju said that the ritual they performed was just to reshape the soul of Hanshi, and that they would need a human sacrifice to wake him up completely. One day, Zhang invited Nanju to climb an ancestral hall with his father. After a while, they rested in an area to have a snack. Zhang put down what they were going to eat, and when he looked at it again, he was surprised that the food was gone. It turned out that this was done by an old man who was also a friend of Zhang's father, whose name was Mr. Chun. As the sun set, one Zhang staffs called him because of another problem. They did not know that Sun Ken had followed them there. At night, a few hours after they arrived at the ancestral hall, they saw a box in front of the door. When Zhang opened it, it turned out to contain evil spirits, so Nanju quickly kicked it. But there was another one that was able to give a message to Zhang, causing him to be very scared. Nanju asked him if he had committed a sin to someone that causes the person to send him a box full of evil spirits, but Zhang denied it too. When he was about to close the door, he saw someone outside, which made him close the door as fast as he could. It turned out to be Mr. Sun, and it was not long when Zhang heard his father's cry, so he quickly went to him. He saw that Mr. Sun was attacking his father, and when he was going to help him, Mr. Sun also attacked him. When the enemy approached Zhang, Nanju came there and saved Zhang's father. Mr. Sun immediately left there, but he warned them that if Zhang refused to give what he wanted, he would kill them all. When Mr. Chun arrived, he removed the remaining evil spirits from Zhang's father. Nanju talked to Zhang, and this was when Zhang told them about the broken green comet that shocked Nanju and Mr. Chun. Zhang told the story of how he got it, and because he knew that it was worth much, and would no longer bother to work hard and become rich. But after that, unpleasant things started to happen in his life one by one. He also mentioned that Mr. Sun visited him one day, who also knew that he had the broken green comet. In his anxiety that other people might get it from him, he thought that it was best to hide it. After he told them everything, he decided to take Nanju and Mr. Chun to where he hid the broken green comet. When he was about to pick it up, something attacked the area, so they hurried out. Mr. Sun once again appeared to them, and in Zhang's anger, he rushed at him, but Mr. Sun only used his power. Then it released a lot of evil spirits and ordered to attack Nanju. Because Zhang was so scared, he ran away, and this was when Mr. Sun rushed to attack, and Mr. Chun tried to block it. When it broke Mr. Chun's shield, Chu Shi came there to stop the enemy. But it was immediately affected by the negative energy and slowly approached the burning shrine. It took the broken green comet then swallowed it, and this surprised Nanju. After that, Chu Shi was surrounded by many evil spirits, and Mr. Sun immediately felt that this was the demon lord they had been waiting for a long time. Mr. Chun immediately sensed that this was no longer Chu Shi, so he tried to lock him in, but Chu Shi easily broke the barrier that he had created. Then he asked Mr. Sun for the scroll with the picture where Chu Shi killed the demon lord, and he immediately burned it. Nanju quickly left there to escape, and when Chu Shi used the evil spirits to attack, but Zaid appeared to block this attack. A few hours later, while the other Almanac deities were at Nanju's house, they noticed the unusual rain, so they thought the demon lord and his disciples had started to act. It turned out that there were also accidents in the whole city, and Kane informed them about it. When Nanju looked up, he was shocked to see many evil spirits falling all over the city. He was worried about this, but the Almanac deities were determined to suppress the enemy, so they immediately carried out their plan. Then they acted quickly to save the people who were being devoured by the evil spirits. While Nanju with Kane and Zaid went to the Ruware Museum. After they defeated the evil spirits there, Chu Shi's pet appeared to them who was already an enemy. After a few minutes of fighting with the evil spirits, the Almanac deities noticed that their opponents were increasing in number. While Wuji was at the Riverside construction site, Chu Shi came there, and Ani was also with him. Nanju fought against Chushi's pet and managed to tame it. Then they noticed Wuji's power, and learned that it came from the Riverside construction site. It turned out that the demon lord had defeated Wuji, but he was able to defeat Ani. When Nanju and the others came there, they faced the enemies, and Nanju looked for Wuji. But when he heard Chushi's voice, and saw Wuji's calendar, he realized that Wuji was gone. Then Chushi showed him the other Almanac deity that he captured, then he also appeared to him. Even Zhang was also under the control of Chushi, and ordered him to attack Nanju. While he was restraining Zhang, Nanju witnessed that Chushi killed Wayne. He kicked Zhang away, and was about to try to save the other deities, but Zhang stopped him. Then it was here that Chushi eliminated Daniel and Yuan. Shishi and Moon came there to save Nanju, and after a while, Kane and Zaid also arrived. But they were shocked when Chushi suddenly killed Xiao in front of them. In this situation, Shishi told Nanju not to hesitate in the fight. They did not want that the sacrifices of others would be wasted. Because of this, Nanju decided to use his power on Chushi. While he was preparing it, Zaid and the other deities were trying to fight Chushi. Mr. Sun came there too, so Shishi and Moon fought against him. When Moon's foot got trapped by the container van, Sun was about to finish him, but Shishi stopped him. Mr. Sun pulled Shishi and strangled her, but he did not expect that Shishi had already prepared an attack, which he was not able to avoid. After Nanju finished preparing his attack, he immediately targeted Chushi. But suddenly, some evil spirits aimed at Nanju, so Kane quickly blocked it. Nanju's attack did not work on Chushi, so Zaid fought against him first. Zaid tried to tie him up, but because of Chushi's great strength, he was only defeated by him. In Nanju's anger, he picked up his sword and repeatedly attacked Chushi, until the enemy got a chance to counter him. Chushi approached and strangled him until he passed out, and when Nanju regained his consciousness, they were already in another place. Chushi told him that this place used to be his nightmare. It showed him how he killed the people who were there. When he got up, Chushi also attacked him, but Nanju went to another place, and he heard a voice there. Because of this, he was not affected by Chushi's attack, but Chushi suddenly rushed to punch him. Chushi had no idea that Nanju would do something to him, and after Nanju touched him, he felt something strange in his body. Then Nanju did another thing to make him kneel down. It was the moment when Chushi saw Emperor Shin Yuan, and the two of them talked. The emperor apologized for the punishments he previously imposed on him, but added that he did it because Chushi was already infected by evil spirits. Then the emperor hugged him, and it was here that Chushi remembered the happy days they spent together, causing him to come back to his senses. Because of this, the evil spirits had disappeared in the entire city, and the people had returned to their senses. This is the end of the last episode of the Almanac Master. I hope you like it, and give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you won't miss newly uploaded videos. Thank you for watching.